Hi Sunny fam, welcome to our 15-minute glute camp workout. 5 movements, 2 rounds through. Let's do this together here on YouTube, shall we? We shall. See you in just a moment. Welcome back, it's me, Mandee. We're here on YouTube, so don't forget to click the like button, the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Let's get the warm up on and poppin', shall we? This is glute camp after all. So the first thing we're gonna do is take our hands to our hips. Our feet are nice and wide apart, and I'm gonna tuck my tailbone forward. Let's go around in a circle, like we're scraping out the last bit of that almond butter in the almond butter jar. Let's take it one more time, both sides. Super short warm up, so we're gonna get right into the meat of the work today. Drop into a nice little sumo squat, stay there. We're gonna take the knee inside and back out and then switch. So we're working that hip rotation right now. Big inhale and big exhale through the nose. Good, big inhale, drop in. Exhale, in and out. Beautiful. Rise to stand. We're going into a hinge. Bring your feet about shoulder to hip width apart. I'm going to turn a little bit on a little diagonal. Hinge at the waist so you're bowing forward, knees are soft. Exhale to rise. Let's do 3. Exhale, 2. Exhale, and last one. Last pattern we'll get into is a lunge. So taking it back into a reverse lunge and rise. Good. Inhale back and exhale forward. As I come up, by the way, I'm tucking my tailbone underneath me. Last lunge, excellent. And then we're just gonna take those shoulders because the upper body is part of it. As you can see, I've got some dumbbells and we're gonna start loaded. So let's grab those dumbbells. These are 15s. You could use whatever weight feels good to you. There are 5 activities. We'll go through them for 2 rounds. We're starting with the Sumo Squat. So bring your feet nice and wide apart. Toes are turned out pretty heavily here and draw the shoulders back and down. Moving into our first minute of work, I go into a nice deep sumo squat, just like the warm up, right? Exhale, rise my way up, draw the arms back. So we're just working on that postural squeeze. Big inhale to lower and exhale to rise. Good, like you're blowing your birthday candles out on the way up. That's gonna activate the abdominals to support the spine. Oh man, I love glute camp. When I was asked to do something that feels very home-based for me, the first thing I thought of was working the seat. So here we are, building them booties together. Excellent, we're halfway through our minute right now. Check in on your grip and your shoulders. Just notice, is the chest super broad? Abs are drawn in simultaneously. I love me a clamshell. We're gonna get into that today. And then we have a little 90-second finisher. We only do one time to wrap up today's 15-minute class. Let's do one more sumo and rise. Good. Now, I'm just turning on a little diagonal so you can see this, just like in the warm-up. Keep your shoulders packed. I'm gonna inhale to hinge down the front side of my legs, and then exhale to squeeze my glutes. All right, so let's go for that full minute. We will see this twice. So just think of your first round as the learning phase and work on the range of motion that feels comfortable and safe for you. Inhaling our way down, remember that birthday candle? Blow it out. We're halfway through this minute. Keep your hands fairly close to the legs here so I can feel my lats engaging as my arms are descending down the front side of my legs. There is a soft bend in the knee joint. I never lock that group out. I lead with my hips, by the way. Sounds like life, okay? Big inhale, exhale to rise. We got time for one more rep. Exhale. Okay, you thought that was hard? Get ready for the real fun. We're gonna move into a single-sided clamshell on the ground. So come on down to one side of your hip. Remember the side you're on because you're gonna do the other side next time. My weight is on my thigh. I'm lifting and lowering. This is called the clamshell. I added a little load to this with the dumbbell. If this is not working for you, feel free to do this body weight. Top hip should be right on top of the low hip, meaning I'm not letting my hips open wide. It's all about that glute med right now. We're halfway through our minute. I don't know about you, but my biscuits are starting to burn. They're starting to feel the warmth. It's almost like, you know, when you're preheating your oven And you're like, I gotta get it up to 350. It's at like 298 right now. Okay, so after we're done with these clamshells, we've got some hip thrusting, one of my absolute favorite activities for glutes. And we're gonna do that off the bench, okay? So that is your last clamshell. Grab your second dumbbell. Meet me on your back. So we're gonna set the dumbbells right here on the hip crease, drive the hips down towards the floor, and then push them towards the sky. Big inhale, you're looking down the bridge of your nose at your hips. Drive your hips up. Ooh, girl. I love it. I could do this workout over and over again. It feels so good on my lower body. Obviously, this is a low back strengthener too, because when we're building our glutes, we're actually protecting the lower back. We're halfway through the thrusts. After these thrusts, by the way, we're about to use this bench again. If you don't have a bench, well, get one. But if you don't have a bench, you could also use a chair or a stool. Just make sure it's sturdy and make sure you feel safe on it. Safety is number one. Good, last thrust here. Let's do this last one. Hold it up here, just hold it. Squeeze your seat, 2 and 1. Good, set your hips down. Take the weights off your hips. We have a step up. So we're gonna go ahead and bring ourselves behind our bench, just one foot. So I'm gonna do this with my left foot comes up, right foot hovers to extend back, return, and set it down, same side. Lift, extend, return, and lower. Lift, extend. Oh, it's like a little arabesque, fun. Lift and here's the breath pattern if it helps. Inhale to step, exhale to push that heel back. We're halfway through the minute. Try not to let the other foot touch the bench if possible, right? I'm finding that single leg stability so healthy for us. Big inhale, stand tall and push that heel back. Got time for a few more of these. Now remember the legs we're doing because the second round, anything that's single-sided, the other leg moves. That's your time. We're back to the top. Second round of our sumos. Now that we have a lot more information, we're a little bit warmer, I encourage us all to get a little bit lower, to work a little bit harder, with a little bit more intelligence around it. You can hear me starting to breathe, right? Yep, these 15-pound dumbbells are starting to talk to me. They're saying, girl, when is lunch? What time are we eating? I would love to say that is not true, but I am food motivated. It's funny, when I took my cat to the vet many years ago, I still take her to the vet, but I digress. They were like, is your cat food motivated? Maybe that'll get them to take these like hip joint pills. Yes, it worked. So I'm food motivated to get this glute camp going. You got time for one more, and it's time to lift deadly. That's just a deadlift. Here we go, inhale. And exhale. How low can you get without letting the spine round, right? We're anti-shrimp here. Speaking of food, right? So on the way up, you're just gonna plug those shoulders in like 2 sockets. Big inhale. Star of the show is what? Not the hamstrings here, it's the glutes. After all, this is called glute camp, not ham camp. Although ham camp sounds fun, and also food related if you like ham. Good, we're halfway through our deadlifts. Tuck your chin back. Notice if you're leading with your chin. You're almost kind of looking down your chin, like you're looking for some crumbs from a previous meal. Inhale down and push my way back up. Next up on the list, we've got our clamshell, and we'll grab 1 dumbbell for that. Let's get 1 more deadlift in there. Excellent, set 1 dumbbell down and bring it down to the ground. So second side of clamshells, weight on the thigh. Lift and lower it with control. Beautiful. Now while you're here, pay attention to your posture and alignment. My heels are tucked behind me and my knee is opening up and out, but my bottom rib cage is drawing in. So I'm not like at a beach, right? I'm focusing on finding this, you know, I teach Pilates, so I'm gonna talk about it. We're finding this core control while we're moving this hip joint out. or externally rotating the hip if you really want to know some technical stuff. After all, we're building techniques and foundations in this class. So yay, a little education to help you along the way. I know for me that always helps, because then I'm like, what's the why? Why am I doing this? Last clamshell here. Beautiful, lower it down slowly. We're gonna grab that second dumbbell and bring it into the hip thrust city population us. So finding the hip cruxes, taking those shoulders to the bench, looking down the bridge of the nose. Here we go, rise and release. We're just swinging the hips, heels down, toes up. That's the way I like to hip bridge. I don't know what you were thinking, but I was thinking hip bridge, all right? Yeah. I really try hard not to take myself too seriously, even when I'm working my glutes. In fact, especially when I'm working my glutes, because it's a funny group of muscles. So, you know, they're also really strong hip extenders. And that is going to get us into our little finisher, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, that is coming very soon. So after we've got these, we've got our step ups with the other leg. Last hip thrust, please. Set your hips down, take the weights off, and then rise your way to stand. Second leg. Right foot comes up onto the bench, left leg will extend back. So see how I had to land my toe? That's okay, right? Work in progress, my friends. Nothing is perfect. Exhale, lift my way up, stand tall, push that leg straight back and really squeeze your glute. Straight leg extension, all the way back, land light. So I'm stepping up, single leg balance, push back, return and return. Good, we got 15 more seconds to go. Woo. Second side, I don't know about you, I'm feeling a little more shaky. Probably because my body's like, what is going on? I thought we were just drinking coffee and hanging out. Turns out that wasn't the case. This is your last step up of the day. Go ahead and land, set your dumbbells down. Remember I talked about this 90-second finisher? Here we are. You could do this on the floor, you could do this on the bench. I'm gonna do mine on the bench because I've got a bench and I love using a bench. So we're gonna be forward on the bench. Hands can hold the top of the bench or maybe the legs, and we find a little extension of the spine. So I'm working my lats already. Nice, now from here I'm gonna lift those legs straight, and now I'm going to start to lower and lift, lower and lift. Mandee, I don't feel like I'm getting very much of a lift. Well, neither do I, but here's the deal. Can you feel the glutes working? If you can't, lower your head all the way down. So for example, maybe my head is stacked on top of my hands, and I'm just lifting and lowering there. So that's another alternative where the upper body gets a little rest. If you're feeling it in your lower back, I encourage you to also incorporate your abdominal wall. So think about your navel pulling away from the mat or from the bench. I have good news. Our finisher is over in about 15 seconds. Oh my gosh. Beautiful. Big inhale, push those legs up. Straight leg extensions. That, my friends, is our time. So separate the legs, sit on your bench, straddle style, and we're gonna go into a little stretch. So I've got my legs separated pretty wide apart here. I'm gonna bring one hand inside the knee and just open twist to the opposite side. Really lengthen through the spine on one side. Wring out the wrist. We were holding the dumbbell, so give it a little shake out if that feels nice. And we'll move over to the opposite side. We'll do that wrist wring out as well. Good, rise your way back up and rise off the bench. Bring one foot to the bench, bring the other foot forward, and let's tuck and release the tailbone. So we're getting a little flexor and psoas stretch, and then a little glute stretch as I slide back. One more time, and we'll switch the legs. Take a moment, find your stability, just drive your hip back, tuck and push forward. So we're getting that nice flexor stretch. 3's the magic number. We'll do one more and then we'll take a seat. Oh my gosh, our time is almost up. Take a seat on the bench, cross one ankle over the thigh. Take your hands to the knee and the bottom of the foot, and we'll hinge forward. Hold this static stretch. Just notice what's going on in that hip. I'm feeling it all along this musculature here, which is perfect because that's what we worked. Yeah. Rise up, let's switch the feet. This is it. Sit super tall, flex that foot to protect the knee and fold. Oh. 15 minutes together. Was it fun? Did you have a good time? Let me know in the comments how that went for you, because I feel super energized right now and I feel like ready to do more. So I hope you had a great time. I'm Mandee. This is our Sunny channel here on YouTube. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe and get that notification bell. I will see you soon.